Have you ever noticed how your body feels just a little different after 60? Maybe climbing the stairs feels heavier than it used to. Or when you stand up from a chair, your legs hesitate for a fraction of a second. It's not just getting older. What's happening inside your body is far more specific. And the good news is it's not irreversible. After 50, most people lose up to 3 to 5% of their muscle mass every decade. Scientists call this sarcopenia. And it doesn't just affect strength, it slows your metabolism, makes your joints more unstable, and even increases your risk of falls and fractures. What's worse, losing muscle means losing one of your body's most powerful longevity organs. Yes, muscle is not just for movement. It's a metabolic powerhouse that keeps your blood sugar stable, your hormones balanced, and even your brain sharper. Now, here's the surprising part. Protein alone isn't the full solution. In fact, many seniors are told, just eat more eggs or chicken, but their muscle still keeps declining. Why? Because your aging body becomes less efficient at using the protein you eat. Researchers call this anabolic resistance. Your muscles stop listening to the signals that tell them to grow. But here's the breakthrough. A recent wave of studies is uncovering that certain plant-based foods, yes, humble beans, you've probably overlooked, contain not only high-quality amino acids, but also bioactive compounds that reawaken your muscle's ability to repair itself. They deliver more than just raw protein. They deliver the molecular signals your body needs to rebuild strength naturally. And today, I'm going to show you how one specific bean, often considered simple or even boring, can outperform traditional protein sources like eggs for seniors. We'll explore the science of why it works, how it helps your gut and muscles at the same time, and exactly how to add it into your diet in a way that truly changes how your body feels, even after 60. By the end of this video, you'll understand why traditional high-protein diets often fail to reverse muscle loss after midlife, how this bean's unique amino acid profile and gut-friendly compounds fight anabolic resistance, the best way to combine it with other foods to maximize muscle protein synthesis, and the exact serving size that research shows improves strength without adding unnecessary calories. So, if you've been told that eggs or meat are the only way to keep your muscles strong, stay with me, because this might just rewrite what you thought you knew about aging and strength. Ready? Let's dive in. These will be the 6 science-backed concepts we'll explore in depth in the upcoming sections. Each one will feel like a breakthrough insight that builds toward a full understanding of why this humble bean is so powerful for muscle health after 60. Key points outline. The hidden muscle crisis after 60, understanding anabolic resistance. We'll unpack why aging muscles stop responding to protein the same way they did in your 30s, and why simply eating more eggs or meat doesn't always fix the problem. The surprising nutrient profile of this bean and why it beats eggs for seniors. You'll learn how this bean's unique amino acid composition, along with its fiber and micronutrient synergy, activates muscle repair in a way animal proteins alone can't. How gut health controls muscle health. We'll explore the gut-muscle axis, showing how the prebiotic fibers and polyphenols in this bean enhance nutrient absorption and reduce inflammation that accelerates muscle loss. Timing and pairing. The simple eating protocol that maximizes muscle protein synthesis. Here we'll break down when and how to eat this bean for optimal impact, plus the one food combination that multiplies its muscle building effects. This section will include a natural call to action for viewers to subscribe for more science-backed tools. What the research shows, real studies, real results. We'll look at specific studies comparing plant-based proteins from beans to animal proteins in older adults, and the shocking findings on strength, mobility, and even longevity markers. The practical blueprint, how to add this bean into your life starting today. Finally, I'll give you an easy, step-by-step way to integrate this into your meals without overhauling your entire diet. Plus a quick tip to avoid common digestive discomfort. This section will include another gentle call to action for community engagement. So here's how the journey will flow. We'll first understand the problem of anabolic resistance, then uncover why this bean works at a deeper level than you'd expect, and finally translate the science into a clear, doable protocol you can start using immediately. As you age, something subtle but profound happens inside your muscles. When you were younger, every bite of protein, whether from eggs, chicken, or beans, acted like a clear signal to your body. Build, repair, strengthen. Your muscles were highly responsive to amino acids, the building blocks of protein. But after about age 50, that signal begins to fade. It's not that you're not eating enough, it's that your body stops listening as effectively. This phenomenon is called anabolic resistance. Think of it like a radio with a weak signal. The message to build muscle is still being sent, but the volume is too low for your cells to respond strongly. Researchers from the University of Birmingham conducted a study comparing how young and older adults responded to the same high-protein meal. The younger group had a robust increase in muscle protein synthesis. Basically, their bodies quickly turned dietary protein into muscle repair. But in the older adults, the response was blunted by nearly 30%. They ate the same food, but the muscles didn't rebuild as effectively. So what's causing this? It sits a mix of factors. Lower blood flow to muscles, making it harder for amino acids to reach the right cells. Increased inflammation, which disrupts the signaling pathways that trigger growth. And reduced sensitivity in key cellular sensors like M2R, which normally acts as the on switch for muscle repair. This is why many seniors say, "I'm eating plenty of protein, but I still feel weaker." It's not just about quantity, it's about quality and activation. Your body doesn't just need protein, it needs nutrients and compounds that reactivate those signaling pathways and improve absorption. Here's a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles are like a dry sponge. When you're young, they soak up every drop of water, every bit of protein effortlessly. But over time, that sponge becomes stiff. You can pour more water on it, but it just runs off. What you need is not more water. You need to soften the sponge so it can absorb again. And this is where our humble bean begins to shine. It doesn't just deliver protein, it delivers bioactive compounds, slow digesting fibers, and key micronutrients that soften the sponge. They improve gut health, reduce chronic inflammation, and make your muscles sensitive to protein again. Before we reveal exactly which bean does this, let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, eating your eggs, staying active, but still losing strength? That's anabolic resistance at work. And it's exactly why we need a smarter strategy than just more protein. The save be first edge force. Now we'll uncover why this specific bean has a nutrient profile that not only matches but in some ways surpasses eggs for aging muscles, and why it's especially powerful for those over 60. When you think of a muscle-building food, what comes to mind? Most people picture eggs, the classic symbol of protein. And yes, eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids, which makes them a complete protein. But here's the overlooked truth. Not all complete proteins behave the same way in an aging body. Now enter the humble lentil. Yes, the tiny bean that's been a dietary staple in traditional cultures for centuries. It doesn't look like a muscle-building food. It's inexpensive, unglamorous, and often treated as just a side dish. But scientifically, it's a powerhouse for seniors. Here's why. First, lentils have a unique amino acid ratio that's especially rich in leucine, the key amino acid that triggers the mTOR pathway, the exact switch that aging muscles need to reawaken protein synthesis. In fact, a single cooked cup of lentils provides nearly 18 grams of protein, along with a significant amount of leucine compared to other plant foods. But here's where it gets interesting. Lentils done just deliver protein. They also deliver the supporting cast your muscles need. Magnesium and potassium, which improve muscle contraction and reduce cramping. Iron and folate, critical for oxygen delivery to muscles, keeping them energized during activity. Polyphenols and resistant starch, which feed your gut microbiome, lowering systemic inflammation, a hidden driver of anabolic resistance. In contrast, eggs, while high in protein, contain virtually no fiber, no polyphenols, and limited micronutrient diversity. They give you the bricks to build muscle, but not the workers and tools needed for the repair process. A 2019 meta-analysis published in Nutrients found that older adults who included legumes like lentils in their diet had better muscle retention and lower markers of inflammation compared to those who relied solely on animal proteins. Why? Because lentils create a two-step effect. They provide amino acids and improve the gut environment, which enhances the body's ability to actually use those amino acids. Think of it this way. Eating eggs alone is like delivering construction materials to a job site with no crew. But eating lentils is like delivering materials and hiring the workers who know how to use them. Now, some might ask, but aren't plant proteins less bioavailable than animal proteins? That's partially true on their own. But lentils have a special advantage for seniors when paired with even a small amount of another protein source, like rice or quinoa. They create an amino acid profile that is nearly identical to animal protein, but with the added anti-inflammatory benefits that aging muscles desperately need. So for someone over 60 dealing with subtle muscle loss, lentils don't just give you protein, they create an internal environment that makes your body responsive to protein again. Before we go deeper into how lentils help through gut health, here's a quick thought. Imagine rebuilding your strength with a food that costs pennies per serving, supports your heart, and stabilizes your blood sugar while nourishing your muscles. That's the true magic of this bean. Now we'll explore how gut health and muscle health are deeply connected, and why lentils help fix the hidden gut muscle axis that keeps many seniors weak despite eating enough protein. Oh, and if you're finding this science helpful, take a second to subscribe, because on this channel we break down powerful, research-backed tools like this every week. Here's something most people never consider: your gut health directly impacts your muscle health. At first glance, they seem like separate systems. Your gut digests food, your muscles move you around. But new research is showing they're deeply intertwined through what scientists call the gut-muscle axis. Here sits how it works. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria that help digest food, produce vitamins, and regulate your immune system. But as we age, two things often happen. Gut diversity declines, meaning fewer beneficial microbes. Low-grade inflammation increases, often called inflammation. Why does this matter for muscle? Because chronic inflammation interferes with the exact pathways your muscles use to repair themselves. Think of it like static on a phone line. Your muscles can't clearly hear the growth signals from protein. Now here's where lentils shine beyond just protein. They're packed with prebiotic fibers and resistant starch, which are like food for your gut's beneficial bacteria. When these bacteria ferment those fibers, they produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate compounds that do two critical things for your muscles. Lower systemic inflammation, helping restore anabolic sensitivity. Improve nutrient absorption, ensuring the amino acids from your meal actually reach your muscle cells. A study in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle showed that older adults with healthier gut microbiomes had significantly better muscle mass and strength, even when their protein intake was the same as those with poorer gut health. The takeaway? It's not just what you eat, it's what your gut can process and deliver to your body. Lentils also contain polyphenols, powerful plant compounds that act like tiny anti-inflammatory signals. These compounds calm the immune system, which is often overactive in aging, and indirectly support muscle repair by reducing the background noise of chronic inflammation. So when you eat lentils, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding an entire ecosystem inside you. And when that ecosystem thrives, it supports your muscles in ways animal proteins alone cannot. Think about it this way. If your gut is like the soil, your muscles are the plants. If the soil is depleted, no matter how many seeds you plant, no matter how much protein you eat, the plants won't thrive. Lentils are like compost for the soil. They regenerate the gut environment so the muscles can finally respond and grow. Now here's a question for you. Have you noticed that after certain meals, especially heavy animal protein, you feel sluggish or even inflamed the next day? That's because those meals can sometimes feed the wrong bacteria in your gut. Lentils, on the other hand, have a balancing effect. They support the beneficial microbes that make your whole body more resilient. And here's the kicker. Studies suggest that improving gut health can reverse anabolic resistance within weeks, making the same amount of protein suddenly more effective. So by eating lentils, you're not just adding protein, you're unlocking the protein you're already eating. Now we'll talk about timing and pairing, when to eat lentils and how to combine them with other foods to maximize muscle protein synthesis after 60. And if this insight about the gut-muscle axis is sparking an aha moment for you, hit that like button. It helps this science reach more people who need it. Here's something fascinating about muscle health. When you eat matters almost as much as what you eat. For younger people, timing isn't as critical. Muscles are highly responsive all day. But after 60, because of anabolic resistance, your muscles only respond strongly during certain windows of opportunity. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that older adults benefit most when they consume high-quality protein within 1-2 hours after movement or light exercise. Why? Because even a gentle walk, some resistance training, or simple chair exercises temporarily wake up your muscle cells, making them more sensitive to amino acids. Think of it like priming a sponge. It suddenly becomes ready to absorb. So here is the first key. Pair lentils with movement. Even 10 to 15 minutes of light physical activity before a meal can dramatically improve how your muscles use the protein. Now let's talk about pairing foods. Lentils are incredibly nutrient dense, but like most plant proteins, they're a little lower in methionine, an essential amino acid. However, when you combine lentils with a complementary food like whole grains, rice, quinoa, or even whole grain bread, you create a complete amino acid profile that rivals animal protein. This is why traditional cuisines, like Indian dal with rice or Mediterranean lentil stews with flatbread, have stood the test of time. They're not just culturally comforting, they're nutritionally synergistic. But here sits a pro tip for seniors looking to maximize absorption. Add a squeeze of lemon juice or another source of vitamin C when eating lentils. Vitamin C enhances the bioavailability of plant-based iron and helps reduce compounds that can slightly inhibit protein absorption. Include a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado. This slows digestion just enough to create a steady release of amino acids, which is actually more beneficial for aging muscles than a quick spike. So what would this look like in real life? Example 1. After a light morning walk, enjoy a warm bowl of lentil soup with a side of quinoa and a drizzle of olive oil. Example 2. For lunch, after gardening or gentle yoga, have a lentil salad with cherry tomatoes, spinach, and a lemon tahini dressing. The second key is even distribution. Many older adults eat a small breakfast, a modest lunch, and a huge dinner. But research shows that seniors build more muscle when they evenly distribute their protein intake across the day. Instead of 5 grams at breakfast and 40 at dinner, aim for 20 to 25 grams of protein in each meal. Lentils make this easy because they're versatile. You can add them to soups, salads, or even blend them into dips. And don't worry about needing massive portions. A single cup of cooked lentils provides around 18 grams of protein. Combine that with a small handful of nuts or seeds, and you've hit the sweet spot for one meal. Now some of you might be thinking, but won't lentils upset my stomach? That's a fair concern if you're not used to high fiber foods. The key is to start small, maybe a half cup per day, and increase gradually. Over time, your gut microbiome adapts, and those initial digestive complaints usually disappear. So here sits the practical timing plus pairing protocol for maximizing lentils for muscle health. After 60, do 10 to 15 minutes of light activity before your meal. Pair lentils with a whole grain for a complete protein profile. Add vitamin C-rich veggies and a healthy fat to enhance nutrient absorption. Spread your protein evenly across the day, aiming for 20 to 25 grams per meal. This simple timing and pairing approach makes lentils more effective than just eating eggs whenever you happen to feel like it. It's about creating the right context for your body to actually use what you're giving it. Now we'll look at real research comparing lentils and other legumes to animal proteins in seniors, and the surprising results on muscle strength, mobility, and even longevity markers. And if you're finding these protocols helpful, consider subscribing, because every week we share science-backed strategies that help you take control of your health in ways that are simple, sustainable, and powerful. For decades, the prevailing wisdom was simple. Animal protein is superior for building muscle. And in younger bodies, that's often true. Animal proteins are more quickly absorbed and their amino acid profile is naturally complete. But here's what recent research on older adults is revealing. When it comes to preserving muscle after 60, the story is far more nuanced. A 2021 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared older adults who consumed either animal proteins like eggs and dairy or plant proteins like lentils and chickpeas over a 12-week period. Both groups were matched for total protein intake. At the end of the study, there was no significant difference in muscle strength or lean mass gains between the two groups. But here's the twist. The plant protein group showed lower markers of inflammation and better gut microbiome diversity. This means they weren't just maintaining muscle. They were improving the internal conditions that keep muscles healthier long-term. Another fascinating piece of evidence comes from the blue zones regions of the world, where people routinely live past 90 in good health. In places like Sardinia and Okinawa, legumes, including lentils, are a daily staple. Despite low meat intake, these populations maintain remarkable mobility and muscle function well into old age. And if we zoom into the molecular level, lentils and similar legumes contain bioactive peptides, tiny fragments of protein that act almost like messengers, signaling your body to regulate blood sugar, reduce oxidative stress, and even improve circulation. All of these factors indirectly support better muscle function. Now let's address one common argument, but plant proteins aren't as bioavailable. True, gram for gram, lentils are slightly less digestible than eggs. But here's the key. When you eat them in a context that supports gut health, like with the pairing protocol we discussed, they become highly effective and the benefits extend beyond just amino acids. In fact, a meta-analysis in Nutrients found that in older adults who combined legumes with moderate exercise, muscle protein synthesis was enhanced as much as with traditional animal protein diets, but with added improvements in cholesterol, blood pressure, and inflammatory markers. So why does this matter? Because muscle health isn't just about muscle size. It's about function, metabolism, and resilience. Lentils support all three. They help you maintain strength, keep your blood sugar stable, and reduce the silent inflammation that ages your tissues from the inside out. Imagine two seniors. One focuses solely on eggs and meat, the other incorporates lentils daily along with balanced movement. Both may maintain muscle, but the second person is also improving gut health, cardiovascular health, and longevity markers at the same time. That's the compound benefit plant proteins can bring. This is why thinking only in terms of grams of protein misses the bigger picture. For someone over 60, the goal isn't just to hit a protein target. It's to create an internal environment where your body actually uses that protein efficiently. So yes, eggs are great, but lentils, they're muscle nutrition plus whole body renewal. Now we'll bring this all together with a practical blueprint exactly how to start adding lentils into your daily routine in a way that feels easy, sustainable, and truly impactful. I'll share specific meal ideas, portion sizes, and even tips to avoid digestive discomfort as you transition. Before we move on, if this research is reshaping the way you think about protein after 60, let me know in the comments. Do you currently eat lentils, or has this made you curious to try? So now you understand why lentils are such a powerful tool for muscle health after 60. But knowing isn't enough. You need a way to actually integrate them into your life without it feeling overwhelming or causing digestive discomfort. Let's start simple. Step 1. Start small to avoid digestive upset. If you're not used to eating legumes regularly, your gut bacteria might need a little time to adjust. Begin with just half cup of cooked lentils a few times per week. Over a couple of weeks, gradually increase to 1 full cup per day. This allows your microbiome to adapt, reducing any initial bloating or gas. Pro tip: soak or rinse lentils thoroughly before cooking. This reduces compounds called oligosaccharides that can cause gas. Or try sprouted lentils, which are even easier to digest and higher in bioavailable nutrients. Step 2. Pair lentils with gut-friendly herbs and spices. Traditional cuisines add spices like ginger, cumin, fennel, and turmeric to lentil dishes, not just for flavor, but because they aid digestion and reduce inflammation. A simple lentil soup with turmeric and black pepper can become a powerful anti-inflammatory meal. Step 3. Distribute protein across the day. Remember, your muscles respond best when protein is evenly spread out. Here sits a sample muscle-friendly meal plan that includes lentils without making them feel repetitive. Breakfast. A small portion of lentil hummus on whole grain toast with a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds, light, easy start. Lunch, a lentil salad with spinach, cherry tomatoes, quinoa, and a lemon olive oil dressing, complete amino acid profile. Dinner, a warming lentil and vegetable stew with a side of brown rice or millet. With just these 3 meals, you've already distributed about 50 to 60 grams of protein, enough to support muscle health in most seniors. Step 4. Combine lentils with movement for maximum impact. Even 10 minutes of chair exercises, resistance bands, or a brisk walk before a lentil-rich meal primes your muscles to use the protein more efficiently. Think of it as activating the pathway before you give your body the building blocks. Step 5. Use lentils as a base, not just a side. One reason many people fail to stick with legumes is they treat them as a boring add-on. Instead, make them the main feature: lentil patties or burgers. Lentil soup with colorful veggies. Lentil stuffed bell peppers. Or even blended into pasta sauces for an invisible nutrient boost. This way, they feel like an upgrade, not a sacrifice. Step 6. Build a sustainable habit. You don't have to eat lentils every single day to see benefits, but aim for at least 4 to 5 servings per week. Studies show that even this moderate frequency can lower inflammation, improve gut microbiome diversity, and help preserve lean mass over time. Now let's address one last mindset barrier. Will this really make a difference at my age? The answer is absolutely yes. A 2020 study in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that older adults who added just 2 servings of legumes per week improved grip strength, walking speed, and even reported higher energy levels in just 8 weeks. So imagine what could happen if you go beyond the minimum and make lentils a regular part of your routine. You're not just eating for today, you're rebuilding resilience for the years ahead. And remember, this isn't about replacing eggs or meat entirely. It's about expanding your toolbox, using lentils as a low-cost, nutrient-rich, gut-friendly protein source that supports your muscles and your whole body health at the same time. Now, we'll bring all of this together with a powerful recap of the science, a reflection on why this matters for your longevity, and a simple challenge you can start today. Before we wrap up, If this step-by-step blueprint feels doable, drop a quick yes in the comments, because the feedback helps guide future videos like this. So let's take a moment to connect the dots. We started with the hidden truth that after 60, anabolic resistance quietly erodes your strength. Your muscles don't respond to protein the way they used to, and this can lead to weakness, instability, and a slower metabolism. Then we uncovered the surprising hero in this story. The humble lentil. It sets not just another source of protein, it sets a muscle-friendly food that works on multiple levels. It delivers leucine and essential amino acids to trigger muscle repair. It feeds your gut microbiome with prebiotic fibers, reducing inflammation that blocks muscle growth. It provides key minerals like magnesium and potassium to improve muscle contraction and recovery. And it creates a complete, highly usable protein profile when paired with whole grains. We explored how timing and pairing matter, how even 10 minutes of movement before a lentil-rich meal can amplify its muscle-building impact. We saw that gut health and muscle health are inseparable, and lentils uniquely support both. And we looked at research showing that seniors who embrace legumes like lentils can maintain muscle strength, mobility, and metabolic health, sometimes as effectively as animal proteins, but with added benefits for the heart, gut, and longevity. But beyond the science, here's what this really means. By choosing a simple, accessible food like lentils, you're not just eating, you're sending a message to your body. I'm still building, I'm still strong, I'm still here. And maybe that's the most important takeaway. Aging isn't just about what you lose, it's about what you can still gain when you give your body the right tools. Every small choice, every cup of lentils, every light walk before a meal stacks the odds in favor of strength, resilience, and independence. So here sits my challenge for you. This week, swap just one meal with lentils. Maybe it's a simple lentil soup for lunch or a warm lentil salad for dinner. Pair it with a short walk, a handful of whole grains, and a squeeze of lemon. Notice how you feel, not just that day, but in the days ahead. And if you're ready to go further, aim for 4 to 5 servings a week. That's all it takes to start shifting your gut, your muscles, and your energy in the right direction. Because remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. And progress compounds over time. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried adding lentils or other legumes into your diet? Did you feel a difference? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you found value in this science-backed approach, give this video a like. It helps it reach more people who need it. Subscribe if you want more practical, research-driven tools to stay strong, healthy, and vibrant at any age. And share this with someone who could use a gentle reminder that strength doesn't end with age. It evolves with it. Stay curious, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.